friends, it's Rana, and today we're gonna go back and look at all the books I read since 1996 till 2024 to pick a favorite book or the best book I read published in each year since 1996. Which means that I'm gonna give you a list of the best 28 books published in each year since I was born. I have my precious laptop here opened on Goodreads and I already sorted my read list according to the date of publication, and we're gonna scroll down till 1996 to see what books we have and what is the best book I read that year. By the way, this video idea was inspired by Lala from Books and Lala. So let's scroll down to 1996 and we have two books I read published in the year 1996. We have The Green Mile and a poem called Do Not Stand at My Grave and Weep. And I don't think that it is fair to compare a poem with a full-on novel, so I'm probably gonna pick The Green Mile as the best book I read published in the year 1996. The Green Mile is a book by Stephen King. Everybody knows this book, I believe, or the movie at least. I didn't watch the movie yet, I only read the book, and it was a very, very good book. That's why I'm gonna pick it as the best book I read in 1996, because the other one is a poem, one poem, not even a collection of poems. Then for 1997, we have more options here. The Four Agreements, I Saw Ramallah, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, and Memoirs of a Geisha. From the ratings only, we have Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stones as the only 5-star rating between these books published in 1997. That's why I'm gonna pick it. So the best book I read for 1997 is Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, and it is actually one of my favorite books in the Harry Potter series. For 1998, we have Digital Fortress by Dani Brown, a 3-star, and Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, a 4-star. Digital Fortress is one of my least favorite books by Dani Brown, so that was unfortunate. And Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets is a very good book, but it is not my favorite in the series. But we're gonna pick it for the best book I read in 1998. Now for 1999, we have on this page alone 4 books published in 1999. Let's check the next page. I read 10 books published in the year 1999. I'm of course not gonna go through every single book I read, but in this year alone, I'm torn between 3 5-star reads. We have Battle Royale by Kushun Takami, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, and Stolen Lives by Malika Oufakir. So, Malika Oufakir, her book Stolen Lives, is the first most shocking memoir I ever read in my life, and I give it 5 out of 5 stars. Battle Royale, I read it this year. It became one of my all-time favorite books, and I adore it. Then we have Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, my personal favorite book in the series. So I'm torn between these 3 books. Right now, I'm feeling like I'm gonna give it for Battle Royale. Usually, I'm gonna lean more towards Stolen Lives, because I lean more towards non-fiction books, memoirs, when it is 5-star books, because they are real stories of real people. But today, I feel like I'm gonna give it for Battle Royale if we cannot talk about my enjoyment of the book. Now, entering the millennia, the year 2000, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 books. Let's check how many 3 stars we have, 5 stars we have. 3 books. We have First They Killed My Father, Angels and Demons, and Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. I'm gonna not pick the Goblet of Fire. It is one of my favorite in the series again, but I don't think I'm gonna pick it between the other 2. We have Angels and Demons and First They Killed My Father. I'm really torn between these 2 books, but I think I'm gonna pick the memoir this round, the nonfiction, First They Killed My Father, because it was very memorable, scarring, shocking read. Now for the year 2001, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 books. Okay. Let's check again what we have here. it was not a good reading year. Not that many books I enjoyed in this year. Apparently, I'm gonna end up picking the children book, The Hereditary by Sean Tan. 2002, we have... Oh no! Oh no! No, 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 no! I missed a book from the year 2001 and it is flipped. I think... Should I change my choice, my pick? Flipped is one of my favorite books, YA contemporary romance books. I know. I really think that you're gonna hear from me because I really enjoy YA romance books. But this one was so cute, so adorable, and I enjoyed it a lot. But I'm gonna keep my pick for The Hereditary. Now for the year 2002, we have many options this year. 9 options in total, I believe. And I'm torn between When My Name Was Kyoko by Linda Sue Park and Full Metal Alchemist Volume 1. Full Metal Alchemist is one of my all-time favorite manga, but I really, really love Full Metal Alchemist, and I don't know why it is 4 out of 5 stars. It was more of like a 5. I think I'm gonna pick my first manga on this list, and it is Full Metal Alchemist. Now for 2003, on this page we have only one book. I'm not gonna pick it. Let's see what other options we have from this year. Okay, we have quite a few. We have a lot. Why did I read so many books from this year? I have read 13 books published in the year 2003. And I think I'm gonna... Ooh, it is a hard pick. It is a very, very hard pick. Many great books, but it always comes down to 2 books, and I'm really, really struggling here. Like we have The Da Vinci Code by Dan Brown, the first book that got me into reading novels, and we have The Kite Runner by Khaled Hosseini, a masterpiece, one of my favorite authors too, and I can't pick between them. Should I pick the book that blew my mind for the first time, the book that made me enter the world of reading fiction books, The Da Vinci Code, or should I pick the objectively better story, which is The Kite Runner by Khaled Hosseini? I know this is gonna be controversial, but I think I'm gonna go with The Da Vinci Code by Dan Brown. As for 2004, we have less options here. We have 3 volumes of Full Metal Alchemist, volume 7, 8, and 9, and we have Messenger, the 3rd book in the Giver series by Lewis Lowry. Messenger wasn't my favorite in the Giver series. My favorite was actually The Giver, and Full Metal Alchemist, these 3 volumes aren't also my favorites. All of them were 4 stars, so we don't have the best selection to pick from. So again, I'm gonna pick a Full Metal Alchemist. Now for 2005, what to pick between these books? I really, really like The Glass Castle by Janet Walls. We also have The Lightning Thief. The best book I read, the only one with the 5-star in this year reads, is The Book Thief by Marcus Zuzak. It is a very popular historical fiction book set in the Second World War, I believe in Germany, Nazi Germany, following this girl that loves reading books and sometimes stealing them. And it is way more than that. And the book is narrated by Death himself. I actually watched the movie first and loved it a lot. That's why a few years after watching the movie, I went ahead and bought the book, read it, and loved it as much. Now for 2006, we have 3 options here. Okay, let me memorize them before going to the next page. I don't need to see the rest of the books I read published in 2006 because I already have my pick. And you might think that it is The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson. Don't get me wrong, it is an amazing, amazing book. And as you can see, I give it 5 out of 5 stars. But nuh-uh. My favorite book from 2006 is The Lies of Locke Lamora by Scott Lynch. If you saw my favorite fantasy series of all time, you know that I'm gonna pick my darling Locke Lamora over The Final Empire any day. I still have to read a fantasy book that I'm gonna love as much as I loved The Lies of Locke Lamora. Impossible. Let's scroll down to 2007. Okay, let's see the rest. We have a lot in 2007. What is happening? Okay, what is happening? Damn. Let me count how many books I read from 2007. I read 18 books published in the year 2007. Like, wow. And I have a lot of favorites actually from this year. We have A Thousand Splendid Suns. We have Red Seas Under Red Skies, Still Alice, and The Arrival. You know what I'm gonna pick, and it is A Thousand Splendid Suns by Khaled Hosseini. It is my whole personality. I reread it just to make a quick review of it, and it was posted like 2 videos ago, if you would like to go and watch it. 2008, we have 5 books on this page. I can't say any of these are a favorite or the best book I read from that year. Let's see the next page. We have a lot of books. I'm gonna stop counting because as we move towards the recent years, I'm gonna be reading more and more from each year. So I'm gonna stop counting because it's gonna be exhausting. So for 2008, we have the 5 stars are The Knife of Never Letting Go, The Hunger Games, The Hero of Ages. So this is hard. This is harder than I expected. I'm not gonna pick The Knife of Never Letting Go. Between these 3, it will end up between The Hunger Games and The Hero of Ages. I love The Hunger Games. I watched the movies multiple times. My favorite is the first one, which is this one. And I read the book, I believe, 2 times. I'm planning to reread it the 3rd time soon. And I adore it a lot. But if we gonna talk objectively again, The Hero of Ages is more of an epic ending of a series. And it was perfect. So I'm gonna pick it for the best book in 2008. Now for 2009, okay. A lot of books, mostly low rated. We have again some really great books. But which one I'm gonna pick? Let's just ignore the low rating of some of the books here because I know unpopular opinions. I'm not gonna discuss them today. I think for 2009, I'm sure for 2009, I'm gonna go with The Help by Catherine Stockett. Amazing book. I love it. I believe I read the book 2 times, or was it 1 time? 1 time, and I watched the movie 1 time. It is a great book, honestly. So sad, yet so funny at times. I love it. Every historical fiction reader must read this book. Now we are entering the 2010s, and the first year of that decade, not many 5 stars as I'm looking here. Many YA books. Okay. The only 5-star read I have from this year is Monsters of Men by Patrick Ness. And the follow-up 4-star read that may be potentially the best read from that year is The Way of Kings. I know I gave both part 1 and part 2 4 stars from The Way of Kings, or in the British edition, the UK edition. Do I think it is better than Monsters of Men? Yes. Why did I give it 4 stars? Why I gave Monsters of Men 5 stars? It's none of your business. No, I'm joking. The Monsters of Men, when I read it, it was a really good end of a finale of a trilogy, and I really enjoyed it at that time. I read it 8 years ago, 7 years ago, something like that. While The Way of Kings, I became more harsh with giving 5 stars. It was an amazing book, but I didn't give it 5 stars because it is the first in a series and it was a little bit dragged. and full of explanation of the word and word building, and I don't enjoy that. It is amazing. I love Kaladin, and it is a very good book, but I'm not gonna give it 5 stars. I'm gonna say yes, it is the best book I read from 2010. For 2011, we have 1, 2, 3, we have 3, 4 5-star reads. Which one I'm gonna pick? Angel Fall, a very fun YA fantasy book, or Between Shades of Grey, a historical fiction book I adore, or The Running Dream. For the year 2012, the year that people thought the world is ending, we have some 5-star reads. We Should All Be Feminists, يد القادم من القفقاز, ساق البامبو, a manga, I Am Malala, The Traveling Cat Chronicles. We have a good selection of 5-star reads from 2012, and I'm not sure which one I'm gonna pick. Give me a moment. Again, it came down to 2 books for me. The Traveling Cat Chronicles, my recent favorite book, and ساق البامبو by سعود السنوسي, or in English, The Bamboo Stalk by سعود السنوسي. Both are amazing books. The Traveling Cat Chronicles is more fresh in my mind because I just recently finished reading it like a month ago, and it was an amazing book. I loved it. I loved the vibes. I loved the writing style, the ending. Everything was perfect. But when I think about it, Bamboo Stalk by Saud al-Sanousi, an Arabic novel by a Kuwaiti author, I enjoyed it a lot. It was a big sensation in the Middle East when it came out. Then it turned into a TV series after that, which was also very popular. I enjoyed it a lot, and it has a very important message of the racism that mixed children go through or went through in that time period in Kuwait. Let's keep my feelings aside for a moment because I love the Traveling Cat Chronicles a lot. But as a story, I believe the Bamboo Stalk is a better one. And I just want to put an Arabic book on this list for 2013. Apparently, so far, we don't have 5-star in 2013. Let's go for the next page. Okay, there's a manga volume. What else we have? We found it. We found the best book of 2013. Oh no, there are more 5-star reads from that year. So these are the 5-star reads from 2013. I Love My Grandmother Asked Me to Tell You She's Sorry by Frederick Backman. Vicious. I adored this book. It wasn't on my 5-star prediction list and it blew me away. Then we have Salt by Nayira Wahid, a poetry collection. Should I pick it? I really, really love this poetry collection. Like, it is my all-time favorite poetry collection. And I talked about it in an older video of mine where I talked about modern poetry books for the people who hate modern poetry, and it is one of them. I really, really love this book. But I also adore Vicious. I'm gonna pick Vicious for the year 2013. I need to decide quicker because this is taking me a lot of time. So my first instinct, my first feeling, what my heart tells me is the book I'm gonna pick for the best of the year. Scrolling down to 2014, okay, what we have here? 1 5-star read, another poetry collection. وحدة الليل. What else we have? Oh no. Why I'm doing this to myself? Why I'm torturing myself by trying to pick a favorite book from each year? What was happening in 2014? Why all of these books, these amazing books were published in that year? And it keeps going. How am I supposed to pick? Like, forget everything I said about struggling to pick any books. How I'm gonna pick from these amazing books? Words of Radiance, one of the best fantasy books I ever read. 5 out of 5 stars. 10 out of 5 stars. Don't Say You Are Afraid, a memoir about this Somali marathon runner who went a lot in her life. Bird Box, a book that I'm gonna keep reading and rereading for a long time because it is my favorite horror book ever. The Body Keeps the Score by Pissel van der Kolk, another favorite book, separate review video only for it. And Smoke Gets in Your Eyes by Caitlin Doughty, a non-fiction book about how Caitlin Doughty entered the funeral industry and started working in a crematory. How am I supposed to pick from these books? I can't. And each one of them is totally and completely different than the other. They are not even the same genre. I'm gonna eliminate Bird Box, my favorite horror book, but I'm gonna eliminate it. I'm gonna eliminate Smoke Gets in Your Eyes and the manga. We are down to Don't Say You Are Afraid, a very emotional read for me. I'm gonna cry talking about it if I explained what happened in the book to anybody. I'm always teary-eyed when I talk about it. Words of Radiance, yes, one of the best fantasy books I ever read. And The Body Keeps the Score, a memoir, a fantasy book, and a medical non-fiction book. Let's eliminate The Body Keeps the Score. I know it hurts to do that, but I'm gonna eliminate it too. So it is either Words of Radiance or Don't Say You Are Afraid. To make it fair for myself in my mind, I'm gonna pick Don't Say You Are Afraid because it affected me emotionally in so many levels. And I already have a Brandon Sanderson book on this list, so I'm happy like this. For 2015, okay. It's easier. It's gonna be an easier pick for sure. So far we have like 2 5-star reads. We have again a good selection of 5-star reads, but it is easier this round. It is hands down The Nightingale as the best book I read this year. I don't collect multiple copies of books, but I have The Nightingale in hardback and I recently bought the paperback because I love the book and the cover so much. And it is the only book I think that I have 2 copies of. 2016. Again, a good bunch of 5-star reads. Let's go on. And it keeps going. Now it became harder for 2016. I should just give up at this point. A lot of amazing books. But let's make it short and sweet. I'm not gonna explain to you or tell you what I struggled the most between. But in the end, from 2016, I'm gonna pick the best book of this year. A book that made me realize that mostly all women has the same struggles in this world. And it impacted society a lot, this book. And it is Kim Ji-young, born 1982, by Chu Namju. Okay, for 2017, we have... Okay, I see a good one here. What else do we have? Okay, this year is gonna be easier than the ones before. Or not. No, it's not gonna be easier. Who I'm fooling. It is getting harder and harder because every year I'm reading more and more books. And this year, funny enough, a lot of the 5-star reads are nonfiction reads. I Love Almond, one of my favorite books I read this year. I Love City of Brass, one of my favorite books I read last year. Among many other, like Helium, probably my favorite poetry collection book, next to Salt. But what I'm gonna pick? I'm gonna pick a nonfiction medical book, and it is Why We Sleep. It is an amazing nonfiction book talking about the science of sleeping, and it affected me by making me sleep better. I read it 2 years ago, I think, and I made my sleeping routine better after reading that book, but I'm now messed it up and I need to reread this book to put me back on the correct track, on the right track. For 2018, okay. You can see that we have a good collection of 5-star reads from this year, but which I'm gonna pick as the best? I think it is easier. This is one of the easier years. The Great Alone, Educated, and Monday's Not Coming. Shall we pick another Christine Hanna book or another memoir? I think I'm gonna go with Educated by Tara Stover. 2019, An Absent Dream, an amazing book. War Doctor, one of my favorite books of 2022. A Woman Is No Man, another great book. The Island of Sea Women. Oh my god, that was an amazing book, honestly. Yeah, we have another bunch of amazing books. I can't deny that. No matter what other 5-star book can pop up on 2019, I know what I'm gonna pick. There is no competition here. No other book can stand in the face of that book. Like, we have nothing to see here. One of my favorite books of this year. The Boy, the Mole, and the Fox and the Horse. Another favorite of mine. But the book that I'm gonna pick is War Doctor. Oh man, that book. Oh man. In 2022, they gave it the number one place of the best books I read that year in the non-fiction department, because I can't describe to you what horrors I read in this memoir. It talks about David Knott. I know I told you I'm not gonna talk a lot about the books I'm gonna pick, but I can't not say anything about this book. It is a doctor, following a doctor, David Knott, and he tells us stories from his experience as a war doctor. What does it even mean? He volunteers to go to areas of conflicts and wars and volunteers as a doctor. He went to Syria multiple times. He went to Haiti, to Sudan. The horrors I read in this book, I can't describe. I honestly can't get over this book. I don't think I'll ever be brave enough to reread it, but it will remain as one of the best memoirs I ever read. No, the best memoir I ever read. Now for 2020. Let's see. Okay, so far we don't have any 5 stars. Okay, this is one. The House in the Cerulean Sea. Okay. Seems like it wasn't such a great year. Oh no. We have one. Let's check the rest. Okay. Okay. So far I know what I'm gonna pick. Okay, it's obvious. The best book of 2020 is The Empire of Gold by Shannon Chakraborty, the third and final book in the David trilogy, a masterpiece. So very good, satisfying ending. Couldn't ask for more than that. It seems like I didn't read many books in the last 4 years because we have only 2 pages left and 4 years. Some years we went through 3 pages for 1 year. Now we have 2 pages for 4 years. Let's see, 2021, Across the Green Grass Fields, Delicates, okay, Lord Olympus. So for the year 2021, we have 3 5-star reads. 2 of them are graphic novels, and 1 of them is Across the Green Grass Fields. I don't think I can say one of them is the best book I read for 2021. The book that I believe is the best one for 2021 is White Smoke by Tiffany D. Jackson, and I know it is a 4-star, but it is better in my opinion. Now for 2022, we have so far no 5-star reads. It's now apparent how much I'm not a recent releases reader anymore, because I don't have many books published in the recent years that I read. So in 2022, we have, which one shall I pick? 2022, it is a little bit easier, but again, we are down to 2 books. It is between Daisy Darker by Alice Feeney or The Weight of Blood by Tiffany D. Jackson. And I think I'm gonna pick The Weight of Blood by Tiffany D. Jackson because it is like a recently completed book. I completed it like in 2 days and I loved it. It is a retelling of Carrie, and Tiffany D. Jackson did a better job with the story than Stephen King. Now for 2023, I don't have that many options. We have Lost in the Moment and Found, Spy Family, Volume 11, Lord Olympus Volume 4 and 5. I think I'm gonna need to re-rate some books here, like Lord Olympus, but the best book for me published in 2023 is Lost in the Moment and Found. It is one of my favorite installments in the Wayward Children series. Now for the year 2024, the only 4 books I read published in this year are Mislaid in Parts Half Known, a 2-star, Spy Family Volume 13, 5 stars, Lord Olympus Volume 6, 4 stars, and Lord Olympus Volume 7, 3 stars. It is 2 stars for me because I decided to DNF Lord Olympus the series after this volume. And as you can see, the only 5-star we have here is Spy Family Volume 13. So it is the best book published in 2024 I've read. This was a very hard video to film, and it's gonna be a very hard video to edit. I think that I can say I'm confident with most of these choices. I would have preferred if I had more options to pick from in some years, like in my birth year 1996, in 1998, 2002 and 2004. I think I didn't have that many options to pick. That's why I ended up with these books in these years. So hopefully in the future I'm gonna expand my reading more in these years so I could find a better book to put in this best book of the year, unlike 2014 where I struggled for my life to pick just one book. So that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe to see my future videos, and I will see you next time. Bye!